If you take the win here, you have a pretty good shot at qualifying for the Dream Tour. This heat's just about to get started. Evan Geiselman out there in red, Marc Lacomare in blue, Nat Young in white, Ian Crane wearing the green. One thing they all have in common is they absolutely rip, but they're all goofy foots as well.
Yeah, I'm not counting myself out yet, and I mean, yeah, getting back on tour is kind of where I'm at right now. It's you know, that's where I'm going to be for the next couple of years at least. That's what I want to be doing. So, yeah.
And you mentioned that this is the first QS 10,000. There's a couple more. You only need a couple to get back on tour. So with a start like this, how much confidence does that give you?
Yeah, it's just good to make a few heats and you know, get some good scores, and picked up a fresh batch of boards here from Matt Biolis, and they're all working really well, and yeah, just stoked to yeah, get through some heats.
And you're obviously on the road a lot of the times throughout the year, so anything you want to say to friends and family back home?
Yeah, I just want to say hi to everyone home. It's probably really early in Australia right now, but I'm sure there's a few people up and watching, so yeah, love yous, and can't wait to get home and see yous.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Always love a catch-up with Davey Cathles. Nat, Ian, Evan grew up seeing each other time and time again. Longtime childhood rivals. And then you add in Marc Lacomare, the powerhouse from France, just to mix it up. Big float. He covers some ground, snaps it right in front of the pilings. He saw himself with some room to get the clear shot to the north end. Great execution. Judge is still watching this as he weaves through the north end on this inside corner. Solid backside work to finish that one off by all the swimmers on the other end. They're allowed to be there because that's the north side of the pier.
One of the biggest set waves too. Marc Lacomare floating up. We've mentioned how it sets him up for this maneuver right here. A lot of speed coming around that section, and that's the near miss that we were talking about. Does so well to negotiate it. I think he should just get points. You talk about risk in the criteria. How much more risky can you get going full speed ahead, committing to a maneuver like that when there's something so solid in your way? You had to kick out due to those swimmers in that area, but Marc Lacomare, I mean, I'm very impressed.
That's often that second section that you're thinking maybe don't go for it. He executed perfectly. Nat Young now in the wind-up. Big punch off the roof. There's that tricky second score. He'll knife it to get down the line. And now he gets a little redirect on the north end as well. So a beautiful heat already underway. Hot action with Geiselman on the next one. Rock and roll float, wind up, slip to slide, he's down.
Nat Young getting an opportunity to shoot the pier here. This first maneuver, critical through that section. The timing, the tempo, not as intense ride shoot through the pier, but still finding that little lip to connect with. And then Evan Geiselman, like you mentioned, locking in that 7.33. This wave, a lot of foam to contend with in that face. Not going to be a gigantic score for him.
Letting a wild card in France. Crane's got the call up at lowers. Geiselman will be a wild card this year at the Hurley Pro. During the break, Lily G fired up again.
He did, with a versatile approach, showing the variety in his repertoire. On a medium-sized wave, he's already had the best wave of the heat so far. The 7.33 locking into his scoreline, trying to add.
Every weekend, so it was a big mission to get there. Rosie made it happen, and look at him now. Two smooth moves. Didn't have a whole lot to work with, but he's got his flow through the inside. A 6.84 gets him the lead off Geiselman. And now with the windup, solid blast off the top to finish.
Well, Joe, it's interesting. I think, you know, growing up, you don't really realize how many
goals to win the Pro Junior. When he got knocked out, so fired up, he won the main event. As we look at his last wave.
Yeah, and that fire you can see still burns. 2 hits on the outside. Nat Young, your second place surfer, is going to lock in a decent backup score here. He would also know this peak at Huntington so well.
And also rip here at Huntington Beach. Nat Young, blowtail on the back end, extends the slide. Just to show the panel that he's in total control. Ton of experience here for the Californian, looking for his finishing move. Setup work for Nat. Little punch out on the inside corner. Light on his feet to get the completion. More waves on the way. Marc Lacomare looking to get his second scoring ride. Super selective, goes for the alley-oop and has to eject. Ian Crane setting up the lip. Cool looking snap. Harder off the bottom to blow the fins free into reverse. Here's the downtime for Crane. And the kid from San Clemente working on his reform. Big wind up, attacks it vertically for the finish.
And we think about where this could potentially fit in the scoreline. Ian Crane, big hack off the top, and then throwing this into the mix, something to just create that bit of variety, like those two power moves out the back. And then this inside connection, so important. He does that tap right there, but then drops all the way to the bottom to get a bottom turn to crack combination. Do you think it could be the number?
Solid effort there. It feels like it's going to be around the conversation of potentially getting him there. What about the risk factor on a backside blowtail like that for Nat?
Super impressive from Nat Young, especially when there's not much wall to push you back onto the face of the wave. So Nat Young showing what he has in the tank.
And then seeing a couple of speed moves from Marc Lacomare. He's surfing with intent to take the lead. His opener was a solid one, a 6.63. He's hoping for a reform opportunity here. And he'll sink as that bottom drops out.
Yeah, Marc Lacomare wants to just get as much speed as he can so he can link these two maneuvers together. So whitewater climb on the second. Still so much speed that he carried through each of those major maneuvers. This might hurt him right here, Joe. He does all the setup work to make that inside connection, and then over there it just goes wrong. That nose, it bottoms out, and he nose dives. To have one last opportunity, Marc Lacomare, it's an important way for him.
Needs a 5.81, and that one's not going to help him out. Now we're going to close out this heat into the countdown. Evan Geiselman gets another big win here at the Vans US Open of Surfing. Moves on to the round of 24. Nat Young, advancing position, finishes in second in this classic goofy foot battle. Evan with the victory lap, just a throwaway error. Looks like he's on point with the rhythm of Huntington Beach.
Save your ankles and your performances for the next round. Can't wait to see what he has in store for us.
And we